So you want to sell your Edmonton or area home and quickly? Well, that's exactly what we're talking about in this video. My name is Mike Banks. I'm a local realtor here in the Edmonton region. And on this channel, we talk about all things real estate. So first things first, I just want to make it clear that selling your home quickly is not the same as selling it for top dollar. These are two separate things and they're not always interchangeable. Yes, you can sell your home fast and for top dollar, but it's not always the case. Sometimes it's one or the other. So if you are interested in selling your home for top dollar instead of quickly, I'll link up to a video right here. If you don't see a link right now, that's because I haven't uploaded the video, but it will be there at some point. If you see the link, you can see that video right now on how to sell your home for top dollar. So ultimately, selling your home, there's a lot of different elements and little factors and details that go into selling your home, but they all boil down to three things, and that's what we're going to be talking about in this video. The first thing is, and arguably, if not the most important thing, and that is pricing. And the thing that's very important to understand about pricing is that nobody except the market ultimately determines the price or value of your home. Me, possibly as the listing agent, or yourself as the homeowner, we get to decide and choose what we offer the home at or list it at. However, the market is ultimately what decides what the home is worth. It's kind of like a little value on lesson in the market that my mom actually taught me at a really early age. And that was with my huge hockey card collection I had. She wanted to throw some of the cards out. And I'd be like, no, Mom, like that card's worth like $20. You can't throw that out. And this is where she taught me the most important lesson. That is that hockey card is worth $20 when someone is willing to give you $20. And it's the same thing with your home. You can list it or offer it at whatever price you want, but until somebody pays that price, your home isn't actually worth that at market value. Now, pricing your home is both an art and a science. The art part of it, we want to be a little bit strategic, and the science part of it, we want to do our homework. So that would be things like looking at all of the competition. That would be a good starting point. Looking at all of the competition that's currently actively listed on the market to see how your home stacks up or compares to that. But the most important data is the recently sold comparables, because that is hard, concrete data of what a home similar to yours actually sold for. It's kind of like what I said earlier. If you look at the active listings right now, the current competition, all of those people are asking for that price. They haven't actually got it yet. So that's where the sold data would come into play, because now you can compare your home to homes that actually sold and for what price and how many days on market and all those kinds of things. Now with sold data, it's very important also to use as recent as sold data as you can get. If you start going back 3 months, 4 months, 5 months, things like that, it's not going to be very relevant to your home today, because the market is dynamic, especially right now with the pandemic going on. The market's dynamic and a lot of things are changing and very quickly. But pricing your home properly for a quicker sale is so important, especially right out of the gate, because the first 2 to 3 weeks of your listing being active is probably the most important time, because that's when the most amount of interest is going to be generated. And if you are overlisted, people will know it right away. They'll be able to look, because people are very judgmental, they'll be able to look at your listing, look at the neighborhood, look at all the features it offers, look at the price, and look at the pictures online and be like, no, that's way overlisted. And they won't actually come see your listing as a result of poorly pricing it. And the longer that this drags on for, your listing could potentially become stale, which starts to have a little bit of a stigma around it, because agents are able to see the history of the listing. And when they start to see that it's been on the market for a lot of days and there hasn't really been any activity or any offers or anything like that, there starts to become this stigma about your listing that there might be something wrong with it. So pricing is the most important thing, especially if you're trying to get a quick sale. Now, number two, and this is exposure. Now, exposure is a little bit of a two-way street. This is both the homeowner's responsibility as well as the listing agent's responsibility. Because as the listing agent, they need to market your property to as many eyeballs as possible. And now it's a little bit difficult to get foot traffic through the door because there are some restrictions in place with the COVID-19 pandemic. But the goal is ultimately to get as many eyeballs on your listing as well as feet through the door to actually view your listing. And again, just like with pricing, the first 2 to 3 weeks is a very critical time, because you're going to want to get as much exposure on your listing as possible in this time frame before your listing goes stale. And like I said earlier, this is a little bit of a two-way street. So yes, it's your agent's job to market your home to as many people as possible, but it's also the homeowner's responsibility as well, because if they make it difficult for people to come into the home for showings, they have animals all over the place, or babies make it difficult. I mean, they do make it harder to show your home, which makes it harder to expose it to more people. So you're gonna wanna be available as much as possible if you can for showings and for open houses when they're allowed and things like that. I know it can be, trust me, I know this part of the selling process can be a very big inconvenience for you, because you gotta sometimes, pick everything up and get out the door so an agent can bring their clients in, and you got to keep the home all spick and span and top notch and always showing its best. But it is well worth it, because the more people that see your home and the more people that come through it, the better the chance you have of a quicker sale. So again, like all the different elements that go into selling a home, like marketing, staging, photos, video, drone, all that stuff. Like I said, there's a lot of different things that go into them, but they all ultimately fall into these three categories. So marketing and listing videos and drone, all that kind of stuff falls into the exposure of the home, but so does the homeowner's ability to allow their home to be shown. Now, the third thing that's going to help you with a quick sale is market conditions. And unlike pricing and exposure, which are completely in our control, market conditions, not so much. But the important thing is that market conditions play a huge factor into the sale of your home, especially a quick one. So it's very important that both the homeowner and especially the real estate agent, they better know the current market conditions, otherwise they're not doing their job very well. But to understand the market conditions, because it all plays back into the exposure and into the pricing, right? Knowing the current market conditions is gonna allow you to strategically price your home to reflect those market conditions. So the market conditions are going to play a factor into the exposure of the home as well, because if it's a buyer's market, for example, you're probably not going to get a lot of exposure to your home. And if it's a seller's market, for example, you're probably gonna get a lot of exposure to your home. So market conditions play just as much of a big factor as exposure and pricing for a quick sale. Now, what do all these different market conditions mean? Like buyer's market, balanced market, or seller's market? Those are the three types of markets. On the channel, I'll upload videos specifically on those three types of market conditions so that you can understand them a little bit better. So make sure to watch out for those. Now, if you have any questions whatsoever on how to achieve a quick sale on your home, or you need to sell your home quickly, make sure to check out my contact information in the description below. There'll be my phone number and email. You feel free to reach out to me personally. I'd be happy to speak with you. And if you like this kind of content, you've made it this far, consider taking this relationship to the next level and subscribing to this channel for all things real estate. And also consider checking out one of these other videos I'll put on the screen right now. I'll see you in the next video.